What's going on, guys? I've got a small project to do today. Nothing big. Shouldn't take me long, and some of you might have the same car. But it's a good little Toyota Corolla. My lens are fogged up beyond belief. I've tried to do all the little methods of rubbing it down, trying to clear them up, but they just won't clear. And if you look over here, one of my brackets is busted, so this thing just wiggles all the time, and you can actually hear it vibrate sometimes. So I went ahead and got online, and it cost me about 110 bucks, and I got brand new housings for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yank this bumper off. We're gonna take this out because taking the bumper off is the only way you can get to that light. But it's super simple. You've got a push tab here, a push tab here, a push tab here. Then you have, this is a Phillips head. It's hard to see in that hole, but it's a Phillips head. You can use a Phillips on this or a 10mm. Same on this one. And then the Phillips head. Then we've got to come over here beside the tire. We've got to pop this pin out and this one. It's kind of hard to see. And once we do that, we got to get underneath. And underneath, if you look right here, you've got a pop tab here and a pop tab there. And then you got another 10mm bolt here, right there, and another push pin. Same on the other side. 10mm and push pin. Oh, and I forgot one more in the back. One more 10mm right there. But after that, we'll be able to get the bumper off. I'm not worried about setting it down easy. Some of y'all might want to put a blanket down or something. If you can tell, I've already got a hole in the bumper and I'm getting this replaced. So I'm not too worried about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening up the bolts, taking everything off. Then I'll show you how to get the headlights out. These over here that act as stoppers, they're going to be a little bit tough to break free, but make sure you apply some pressure on them because you don't want to strip that screw. Because then you got to find something that matches that to put in the hole, and that's just annoying, especially if you don't want to mess everything up. So I got that one. I'll show you this one. Sometimes a pain. There it goes. And you can see there's a little screw right there. You don't need to remove that. That just removes that little protective weathering strip on here, and you don't need to take that off. There's no point in that. Right now, I'm gonna show you, you can do these with a screwdriver or a 10mm. Your choice, whatever you prefer. Loosen that one up. Loosen that one up. And now the grill is going to be fairly loose. But what we're going to do now, instead of just jumping to the side over here and getting those two off there where it's putting all the pressure on these bottom bolts, I'm going to remove the bottom ones first, so that when I take off those little pins on the side where the tires are, it's just going to be able to go freely, just straight out. These might be a little tough with a screwdriver. Yeah, I'm going to need my socket for that one. This one being rusty, it's a little bit more finicky. I wanted to show y'all something. A lot of times these pins are not in good shape. Like, this is the first time I'm taking these pins out, and they are just, they're mangled. But that's probably because of old use. Because they popped out pretty easy. Just sitting there for a long time. I mean, the car is 9 years old, so You can pick up a set of these pretty easy online. I might try to get me a new set of them and just replace all the push pins on the front bumper, just so I know it's good and secure. But I mean, honestly, these right here, they're still fine. You don't have to really worry about it. So some people may still have this little flathead screw holding on the front bumper. It's the bottom screw. The top one's a Phillips head. That one's really easy to come out. But this bottom one has a trick to it. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna turn it sideways like that. And then you just get up under there like all the other push pins. And it comes right out. But it has like a little locking mechanism in there. I don't know how good you can see it. But it's got two little tabs, and you put it in and you'll twist it back to lock it. Twist it, boom. Another thing, this Phillips head right here likes to just spin freely when it's in here. It just doesn't do anything. It's really a screw that's in a little rubber grommet. And the easiest thing is it's gonna spin freely because it doesn't have pressure. So if you can get a little Phillips head, kind of pry it out to where it's tight. Don't try to pop it loose because you'll bust it. But if you just pry it out to where it's tight, see it's sitting right there, it's got a little bit of gap. Now, when I go to undo it, it unscrews. That way you don't bust this little specialty. It's similar to the pop tabs, but I think it's more of a pain than anything. So it should come out freely. All right, so let me go over a couple little things to get this bumper off. Once you remove all the bolts, there's on each side, there's 1, 2, and 3. These little clips that sit over little spots on the side of the bumper. I'll show you. The bumper's got these little notches that it clips onto. And what you gotta do, and you have to be very gentle or you'll bust them, but you pry it out right here till you get to this first one, and you work your little flathead in there and just gently pop it off, and then move up and gently pop it off, and you do it all the way up to the top. If not, you will bust it and it'll affect the way that it'll hold the bumper. This piece, I've never had to replace it, but I mean, I wouldn't assume it's too expensive, but I'm sure you don't want to have to replace that and buy a new part for it. I don't even know what that would be called. But just be gentle when you're prying it off. Another thing, before you drop the bumper, you're going to want to disconnect your fog lights. The fog lights cannot stretch far, and you don't want to mess up your little socket. So you want to pop those off. All they are, they're a little simple. You push down right here on the back, lifts it up, and it'll pop off. But now, we're gonna get to the fun part. So now, take our 10mm, that's the first bolt. The second bolt is right here. And then the third bolt is right in here, not that silver one, but this black one. And it'll free these up. Another thing I forgot to mention before you take this out, it's a little beveled piece right here that this actually clips onto. So you can just take a flathead and do a little pry maneuver on that 10mm and it'll pop it. The other thing that's holding it in is right here. There's a clip, and you don't want to bend it, but you can use this flathead and pry just enough to where you can get it to pop out. You just got to be careful. A lot of this stuff you can bend, you can break, and you don't want to do that. Now the rest of this, I've got LEDs in here, so I got to be careful because I've got everything tightened up. So let me put the new housing in, and we're gonna take a look at it. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel putting these new ones in, but I mean, dang, they look so much better than that. Look at that. That's what brand new will do for you. I'm in clear lens. It's gonna turn the look of this car around. I mean, it's gonna totally make it pop again, especially when I get that new bumper. But let me finish installing this up, and I'll give you a look with the bumper on. And I'm sure it is going to look way better than it did. Make sure you take note, these 3 screws, 2 of them are gonna be threaded, and that's for this front spot and the side. This one that looks like a screw is gonna go in the top hole, because you want it to thread down in that plastic little grommet that this pops over. All right, so I got the front bumper installed, and those lights look a heck of a lot better than those old ones. All in all, another 4 up top, 3 push pins up here, 2 push pins on there. So it's a total of 8 screws and 5 push pins. And you can really just pop this bumper off, replace it, fix it. Take this grill out if you want to. I've seen some people pop this out, but I'm leaving it on because I don't want any rocks bouncing up and hitting it. But quick, easy fix. Probably took me maybe an hour to get it all done. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.